Welcome back to Good Knit Kisses. I'm your host Kristen and we are in our loom knitting cast on series. Let's get started. Today we're going to make the long tail cast on. You can use this cast on as a standard, which we'll do first, and we'll also do a ribbing type of cast on but with the long tail. It's very versatile and flexible and has a very nice, neat, clean edge. Okay, so we're going to have our knitting tool. We'll go ahead and put that down. Take our working strand and we're going to measure out. I'm going to have my beginning and my end here, and we're going to measure out 3 times the length of the pegs that we need. If this was in the round, then we would go all the way around. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 3 times the length. If you want to give it a little extra, that's okay too. Go ahead and make a slip knot right in the middle of that and place it on your beginning peg. Okay, now you're going to want to keep up with what is your long tail and what is your working yarn. Okay, so your working yarn want to actually have the long tail in front and the working yarn coming from the back. Okay, so here's my working is going to be up here. This is the working yarn, and this is the tail. I'm going to take our tail, and this represents the tail here. We're going to go ahead and wrap around this stitch here, E-wrap that, hold the tail, keep it snug, knit over. Okay, put this down, take our long tail, and we're going to make an E-wrap here. And now we're going to take, so I'm holding my E-wrap, now we're going to take the working yarn and go around like a U knit stitch, like that. Nice and loose. You don't need to be tight, but I am pulling tight on this one. And we want to adjust that. Okay, here we go. And we're going to knit over. So what we're knitting over right here, this is the long tail. Alright, so now we're going to E-wrap the next one in the long tail, and we're going to U-wrap with the working strand. Knit over, E-wrap with the tail, U-wrap with the working, knit over. Now if you wanted to, you could go ahead and pre-wrap these if that makes it easier on you. It makes you kind of reminds you where you are, but you have to keep switching your hands like this. Okay, so I'm going to continue on until I get to the end. Now, like I said, if you want to go ahead and wrap these, you can. It makes a cleaner edge if you do it one at a time, but you could wrap these down here. Go ahead and slide this down to the bottom. You could pre-wrap them, and to get this one to stay, just do an extra one that you're not going to need that we can pull off. Go ahead and double E-wrap that. Oops. Okay, so this one is one that I'm going to actually pull off later. Okay, now I'm going to go back here and I've freed up my hand. So if you have a problem with needing to use one hand at a time, then this would be the way you need to do it. Go ahead and make a U-wrap, which is coming around the front, making a U. This is one end of the U, this is the other end. Knitting it over. Oops, a little tight. Knit this one over. Well, pre-wrapping was a little tight, but we're going to do this. So you get the idea. So we've gotten all these stitches here that we're going to do. And I want to show you how to do the ribbing after this. Okay, second to last one. And the last one is this one that I've marked. Okay, and we're going to pull off the stitch that I had done to hold it. So we've got this long tail here. Okay, so this tail is actually locked in now. After you start doing this next row here, okay, so say we're going to knit this first stitch. We come along. After we've gotten our swatch or knitting, whatever you're making, several rows in, you could go ahead and trim this. You can weave it in just a couple of stitches. You don't really have to do much with it because, like I said, it's all down here. So these are good to go. Your tail's not going to be coming undone. So that is that on there. And so now we are going to do the ribbing. Pause your video and we'll meet back up. Okay, we're going to do the long tail cast on for ribbing. I'm going to do a 2 by 2, meaning I've got 2 knits and 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls. So we're going to measure 3 times the length of the loom, or the amount of pegs that we need. And you can give it a little bit extra. Make your slip knot. Put the slip knot on your first peg. Have your working strands in one hand and your tail in the other. And go ahead and wrap with your working yarn here and E-wrap on the snit stitch. Okay, and now we're going to E-wrap the next stitch, and this stitch right here is telling me that I want this to be an E-wrap or a knit. I'm actually going to make this a U-wrap here for a knit stitch. Okay, now I'm going to take my tail, and these are going to be a purl. I'm still going to E-wrap the bottom, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just do these two together. I'm going to take my working strand and I'm going to come and put it on the bottom just like a purl, and I want to keep this a little snug and hold on to it, so I'm actually going to put my working strand over here so I can my tail over here so I can snug it up a little bit and have control. So now I'm going to do my purl. I'm going to scoop it up from the bottom, pull it up through the loop, take it off the loom, replace that loop, snug that up, and now we do it again on this next one. Pull it up, take that new loop off, or the old loop off, put the new loop on, and snug that up. And now these two have been casted on in a purl. Now we're on the next set of stitches. I'm going to E-wrap these again. All the working tail, the long tail is going to be an E-wrap, and then you can do your U-wrap for the top for this knit stitch here. And remember, the one coming from the left here is my working yarn. The ball is attached to it, and knit that off. Let's do a purl again. We're going to go ahead and E-wrap both of these. Come over here just to hold my yarn down for me. And now bring our working strand between these two pegs, and I'm going to purl this peg here. Okay. Alright, purl those, E-wrap these two, U-wrap the front, knit off, knit off, E-wrap the purls, and now we're going to purl them. And one other technique you can do to make it faster is pull both the loops up, and then you can go ahead and do that, pull that off, snug that up, and now you're ready to pull off the second one. Whoops. And once you get the rhythm of it, you'll see that. So we'll do it one more time so you can see that little shortcut. Go ahead and wrap these around, get these knit set up here. Okay, so now we're ready for our pearls. Wrap those around. They can stay up top because you're going to put a pearl in. Okay, we're going to pre-pearl. We're going to pre-loop these. There's one loop. Whoa. I'm going to start that over. I pulled it up too hard. Okay. Pre-loop this. 1 and 2. And pull this loop off. And then you can take this other one and snug it up. And I think the reason why that it came off for me that easily is because I didn't take this tail over here, I didn't take it and put it far enough away. I had pulled it farther away this way before. So we're almost done with this row. Shh, don't tell anybody I split that. Okay. All right, so we are done. And then this long tail is just going to get woven in and snipped off. You don't need but a few stitches to do that with. So thank you for tuning in again at Good Knit Kisses. I hope that helps you, and I'd like to see your projects. Be sure and make a comment below and catch me on Facebook. Have a great day and happy looming. Bye-bye.